Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited for today's video. I'm going to be doing my Sephora recommendations video, but we're going to be doing it a little bit differently today. We're going to be doing it get ready with me style, and I just have a bunch of products that I really enjoy from Sephora that I would recommend during the sale that I apply to my face today to get this look. And that is how I'm going to do my recommendations. Rather than sitting down to pull out a million products like I have in the past, I thought it would be fun to do a get ready with me. I know you guys ask for more get ready with me's, and I always say I'm going to and then don't. So I had so much fun filming this. I think through magic links, I can set up like a Sephora storefront where I put like some of my Sephora favorites. So if I can figure that out, I'll leave that link down below in case you're interested in more Sephora recommendations from me. And I'll also leave my Sephora playlist link down below in case you're wondering what I've recommended in years past. Oftentimes, those are products I still love and recommend. But I hope that you'll just sit down and get ready with me today to create this look right here. I will also note I've recently posted my Sephora VIB shop with me, and I would love your feedback on what you think I should pick up during the sale and what you feel like I should skip. So if you've missed that video, I'll leave that linked, and I would love if you would go give me some feedback. But today we're just gonna be getting ready, super casual. This is the look that we created, spoiler, and I hope that you will join me. So if you're interested in this get ready with me, stay tuned. First, if you have yet to subscribe to my channel and you like project planning content, palette themed content, or just chit chatting about makeup, I'd love if you'd consider subscribing before moving on. And other than that, let's jump into the video. All right, good morning, you guys. We are barefaced because we are gonna do a get ready with me using some of my favorite products at Sephora. And as I put these products on my face, I'll kind of chat through other products from Sephora in the same category that I'm also like a fan of, that I would also recommend. I am someone who usually does my eyes first, and today's gonna be no exception. Can I find my eyeshadow primer? I thought I had it out on my desk. So I'm gonna prime my eyes really quick using the Fenty Beauty eyeshadow primer. I actually personally wouldn't recommend this eyeshadow primer. It's not a favorite of mine, but I'm trying to get through it before I repurchase the NARS Smudge Proof. Oh, I always forget I like to have mine set for just a moment before doing that. The NARS Smudge Proof shadow, like, what am I trying to say? Eyeshadow primer is my favorite eyeshadow primer personally, and one that I would repurchase. I am gonna go in with the Merit Great Skin Instant Glow Serum Primer. I'm just gonna put a little bit on my face. I have done like my skincare routine for the morning, so I washed my face. I know you're not supposed to like rub your face, you're supposed to pat, but it's so hard. I'm gonna rub because that's what I normally do, you guys. So I've already gone in with like a moisturizer, and I've cleansed my skin this morning. Because I do my eyes first, I do like to put something like this Merit Glow Primer on my skin just to add a little bit of extra hydration. I'm someone who is extremely dry right now. Look at my mishap with my fingers for my self tanning. I'm just really dry, so every little bit helps, and I really enjoy this product from Merit. It is this really beautiful kind of like oil serum. I just shake mine up before I use it because the two parts like separate. And I don't like to use this as a primer on its own. I simply like to add it for a little bit of more hydration. But if you're someone with really dry skin, you might enjoy that product. And then I did also use my Fresh Black Tea Firming Eye Serum under the eyes today. I do really like this eye serum. I did just wake up. It's like 6:30 in the morning, so I know I look exceptionally tired. I feel like sometimes, like even when I put my skincare on, if it's early in the morning, like we still look very tired underneath the eyes. But I have really been enjoying this eye firming serum. I use it day and night, and I just feel like it's really nice and lightweight because it is like a serum, but it also feels very hydrating. So I wanted to shout this out. That eyeshadow primer, it definitely gets like sticky and tacky. I just feel like I just sometimes have shadows stick really weird to that eyeshadow primer. Okay, I've definitely been more into indie eyeshadow palettes as of late, but I pulled out 3 eyeshadow palettes that I really enjoy available at Sephora. So I hesitate to recommend the Patrick Ta simply because I know that his palettes have been known to grow mold, but truly his mattes are spectacular. This palette right here is the Major Dimension 2. I am considering potentially purchasing his Just Matte palette. although it is $70, and that does pain me, but his mattes are so good, you guys. They literally blend themselves, I swear. And then I busted out the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude. This is such a nice, just cooler leaning neutral eyeshadow palette. I plan to use this today. And then I also have the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz, which I also think is really, really stunning. I do want to do like purple, a bit of purple on the lid. So I was thinking of reaching into this for potentially Moon Magic or Blissful. I might do a mixture of both of these palettes. That's kind of what I'm thinking. But first, I wanted to whip out my KVD Dazzle Stick because I have really been enjoying this product. Now, this isn't a product or a type of product that I reach for very frequently, but I recently rolled it into a project pan and I really like the way that this looks on the eye. So I have mine in the shade Hail Surge 10, and before I go in with any other makeup, the way I've been using it is just bringing it on the inner like third of my eye, and I bring mine pretty like heavily up my crease just because I feel like I have pretty hooded eyes. And I'll zoom you guys in just a moment too as I do my eyes. But I feel like this just adds a really, really pretty sparkle to the lids. It's kind of like a champagne shade, but it has a bit of almost like a blue running through it. And I just think it's so pretty. So if you're someone who likes like a sparkly shadow stick, I wanted to just let you know that I've been enjoying that. All right, let me zoom you in. And I just realized I didn't set my lids. So maybe we're gonna go without like setting the lids with a shadow today. Famous last words spoken by me are, I don't want to do anything too heavy today. And then I feel like naturally, I always end up with something fairly heavy, but I think for today, I'm gonna start by going in with this shade right here, which is the shade Vague. And I'm just gonna take a smaller brush and I'm just going to take this on like the outer third of my eye. The day that I'm filming this is the Saturday before, like Easter's tomorrow. And we're going down to my mom's, and I think we're gonna do potentially an egg hunt today. And I'm thinking like we'll take any like photos that we plan to take this weekend today. And I have a really pretty lavender dress that I just bought from Target. So I'm wanting to do like a bit of lavender on the lids just to like tie it together, but I also don't want like the heaviest eye look. I'm like totally not paying attention at all, and that's so dangerous. So we'll just kind of see what happens. I like this palette from Natasha Denona because it really just is pretty effortless. Although I will say like this shade right here is warmer than I feel like it looks in the pan, and warmer than I'm wanting it, and that's kind of what I've found with this palette. So just bear that in mind. It actually like can end up being warmer than it looks in the pan. I think to try and cool it down a little bit, I'm gonna go over top with the shade Stone and just kind of like pat that over top where I just placed Vague, and then try and start to bring that just a little bit more into the crease. Ooh, I don't like the brush that I'm using for bringing it into the crease. It could also be because I did not set that eyeshadow primer. I'm feeling highly concerned about how the look's gonna turn out today because I didn't set my, set that primer. Whatever, we're gonna keep going. I am going to use now the shade, a mixture of the shade Mesh and Fair. And I'm just gonna use these two shades to try and like blend out the top here and just have like a very seamless but very blown out look. Okay, maybe it will all come together in the end, maybe. I'm gonna take, and these are like famous last words, I'm gonna take a little bit of this on the outer little bit. Sometimes I literally hate the shape of my eyes, you guys. Like I just get so frustrated doing my shadow, and I always like will watch people do their eyeshadow and I'm like, ugh, everyone is so good at doing their eyeshadow except for me. Okay, then I'm gonna take a little bit more of Stone and add that and just kind of maybe build it up just a bit. Literally hate the shape of my eye. Ugh, because I can never get, my eyes I definitely think are two different shapes. This lid is like more, has more lid space than this eye, and it's so frustrating. I can never get my eyes even, and it truly makes me so angry. Also, do you see what happens? I keep building and building, and before you know it, I have this super dramatic eye that I was going for something ethereal and light wash. Not necessarily ethereal and light wash today, but this always happens where I'm like, I'm gonna do something super like just light, and then I keep building, and before you know it, we have like the darkest smoky eye of life. I will say with this eyeshadow palette, I don't always love how everything layers. Like I feel like, I don't know if you'll be able to tell, like, let's see. Also, this is so much more dramatic. Do you see, like I put that over and it just like, I feel like kind of muddies rather than like gives me this like gradient that I'm looking for. Granted, I can like blend it out to create a gradient, but I don't think this is, personally, I don't think this is the best quality Natasha Denona midi that she's ever come out with. I still really like the palette. And in terms of color story, it's one of my most used, but I will say, I think she has better in terms of like quality. I would love to know if you guys have this palette, if you feel the same, or if I'm crazy. I feel like I should stop building, or it's just truly gonna get out of hand. I think we're gonna stop just to like, we're gonna get out of hand too quickly. Okay, like I said, I do want to do something purple over the lid, so I'm gonna take a little bit of my NYX glitter glue, which obviously you can't get at Sephora, but this is my glitter glue, and I'm just gonna pop some of that onto the lids here. Do I want to reach into Moon Magic? I'm thinking that's what I want to reach into because it's more of like a lavender, which is what I'm going for. There is Moon Magic up here, which I don't know if you can see the lavender shift there or like that well, but it is so pretty. And then right here we have Blissful, which kind of has like a grayish purple. I'm gonna just go in with Moon Magic for now, and maybe we'll pat out. I also like, here's Cosmic Love, which I also really love. I'm like, do I put a little bit of Cosmic Love on the very like outer part? Now my hands are so messy and I don't have wipes, of course, in front of me. Okay, let's start by just taking Moon Magic right here, and I'm gonna take that not quite all the way into the inner corner just because I want that shadow stick to shine a little bit too. Oh, pretty. Although I swear that's pulling a little bit more blue than I had anticipated. Okay, I'm gonna do two things. I am gonna take just a little bit of Cosmic Love right here, and I'm gonna pat that just on this, like where the matte shadow and that shimmer shadow kind of meet. I'm laughing because I definitely had like a very light neutral look in mind with just like a wash of like a lavender shade, and this is much deeper than I thought, but this is very common when I'm doing my eyeshadow. Okay, then I now just want to take, is that gonna be too much? Like I'm like, if I, okay, this could go south really. Like we might have to take the makeup off to redo it if this turns out poorly. Maybe I'll do this one instead. Yeah, okay. To kind of like try and tie everything together, I'm gonna take the shade Sheen on my finger, and I'm going to just pat that on the lid to try and like mesh everything together. Okay, just not exactly what I had in mind, but I think it's gonna work. I'm gonna take just a little bit more of the shade Mesh, this lighter matte, and I'm just gonna run that along to try and like blend all the shadow together too. But I actually think, this might work. I think it might work. I think I'm gonna tight line really quick. The current like liquid liner I have open is just the Kaja Wing Stamp. I personally really like the one from NYX, the Epic whatever, if you want something more affordable, or I really like the Hindash one. But anyway, this one is indeed from Sephora, and I'm just going to tight line. Okay, that works. We're just gonna leave the eyes where they're at for now, and we're gonna move on to the rest of the face. It'll all come together. I know it always looks, especially because I do my eyes first, it always looks, I feel like, a little bit more scary than it actually is. But I'm gonna zoom you guys out and we'll do the rest of the face. Okay, I think I zoomed you guys out a little bit. I'm not sure, because I stepped away and then I couldn't remember. I think I have zoomed you out. Anyway, okay, so obviously I do still want to add a primer. Personally, I love primer. I love to prime my skin. I know that's not for everyone, but for me, I really do like a primer. You guys know I've raved about the First Aid Beauty primers for so long, but I really wanted to have new recommendations for you guys. So if my skin is feeling really dry, I like the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Glow Serum. But I just used like a glowier serum and I'm still feeling a little hydrated from that. I also, if you're looking for the best pore filling primer of all time, for me, I think it's the Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer. I don't currently own that. I'm trying to get through some of my other primers, but I will eventually repurchase that. Today I'm going to go in with the Iconic London Underglow Blurring Primer. I really, really like this primer. It is like this liquidy serum-like texture, but I feel like it really does. It's not going to like fill in your pores. Like, it's not going to be blurring in like a real pore filling way, but I do just feel like it adds this like beautiful glowy filter. And I am all here for it, and it feels really nice on the skin as well. And it has a bit of a tack to it. So I have been enjoying this one from Iconic London. I did want to shout this out. I have already posted my Sephora VIB shop with me. I'll leave that link down below. Check it out and let me know what you think I should pick up. But in my cart, I was considering the new one from Iconic London. They have like a new velvet blurring primer. If you guys have tried that, let me know. Okay, we know I love foundations and to test foundations. So I struggled a little bit with choosing which foundation to go in with today, but I wanted to use my Laura Mercier Real Flawless Foundation only because I'm eating my words with this, and I have been loving this foundation. And when I first got this was like something I told you guys I was gonna declutter. Then I pulled it back out because it was getting a ton of buzz, and I was like, do I really want to declutter it? Used it a couple times and I was like, yeah, I do. And then one day I was looking for a foundation to use that matched me, and I just felt like this matched me, and I happened to mix it that day with my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, and I haven't looked back since. It truly, in my opinion, gives me the most filtered flawless finish I have gotten from any foundation. It is incredible. I will say, if I'm looking for long lasting, like something over like 8 hours, I probably would reach for either my Dior foundation, my Dior Forever, or my Lancome like Tentital Glow. But for like a solid 8, even maybe 9 hours of wear, I do really like this product. So today I'm going to mix the Charlotte Tilbury with the Laura Mercier. I did also just want to quickly shout out 3 of my other current favorite foundations. So been loving the Guerlain Healthy Glow Foundation. This is so beautiful. If I have like a special event or an occasion, like this is coming with me on my work trip to Vegas, just because I think this looks so beautiful on the skin. It's long lasting, and it's kind of like, I don't know if I would call this like a satin matte finish, but it's like matte, but still like makes your skin look like it has life. Like, it's not a flat matte. It's so beautiful. I have been loving the Dior foundations forever. I've gone through a couple of the Dior Forever Skin Glows as well as the Dior Forevers, so I highly recommend the Dior foundations. I will say I'm currently testing out the Dior like Natural Nude. Yeah, Dior Forever Natural Nude. This one is more matte than the other ones, and this one I haven't been loving as much, so just wanted to note that. And for something just quick and easy, also easy to travel with, I think I might also bring this one to Vegas with me. This is the Fenty Beauty Ease Drop The Stick Foundation. This is so easy to blend, really lightweight, and just looks really beautiful. So I also wanted to shout that out. And then one other product I wanted to shout out is the Say Sun Glow glowy super gel. So I have mine in the shade Sun Glow, and this is a really beautiful bronzy shade. In fact, I probably could, should I use this today? No, because I'm nervous. I haven't mixed this yet with the Laura Mercier, but do you see how beautiful of a bronze that is? I definitely, I might have to use this as my body bronzer, body glowy bronzer. But I will mix this with the foundation if I'm trying to like bronze up the foundation, similar to the Drunk Elephant de-bronzy drops. That's the way I use this product, and I really enjoyed it last year for that, especially because typically my face is much lighter than my body throughout the summer, so it's a nice product to have around to kind of match me. And I personally like it more than the Drunk Elephant. So almost forgot, I was gonna underpaint today just to shout out some cream and liquid products. So before we go in with my foundation, I'm gonna underpaint with a cream, bronzer, a highlight, and blush so that I can shout out some more products that I love. So for my bronzer today, I'm gonna go in with the NARS Laguna Sun-Kissed Bronzing Cream. This is definitely a more pigmented cream bronzer, as you guys may or may not be able to see. Yeah, like, do you see? That is like not really like a sheer cream bronzer. Granted, you can sheer it out, but the first time I used this, the first couple of times I was like, oh, I don't think I like this product, because it just took me like a little bit of time to like actually get the hang of it. So just note that this is a very pigmented cream bronzer, and I purchased this when it was limited edition. This is getting old, I need to like use this up. But they have expanded their shade range. I would be interested in picking up potentially like the lightest shade, because this is, even like with the self tan, I feel like this is a bit much. We're underpainting, so I'm not going to worry too much about the fact that it literally is in like the blush and bronzer spot over here. Ignore that. Before I go in with blush, I'm going to do highlight, just because I personally like to layer it that way. And I'm not huge on cream / liquid highlights. I will say I do really enjoy the ones from Rose Inc, but be leery of those because they do dry out quickly. I wanted to go in with my Westman Atelier because I feel like I talk about this product quite a bit, but like wanted to show you guys what it looks like. So I have this one in the shade Lit Up, and it is this really kind of sticky texture, and I don't know how well you'll be able to tell, but it really does leave just like a wet kind of glossy finish to the skin. Sometimes I like to use just like a small beauty blender to blend out my highlight, or my cream and liquid highlight. Like, oh my gosh, I look ridiculous. Again, it'll all work out in the end, I hope. Do you see how pretty that is? Oh my goodness. Okay, we've got a lot going on here. Can you tell like the difference? Like, it just looks like a wet glaze, and I really like it. It's not something that totally sets down though. Obviously I'm going to be going over this with like powder and stuff, so I will set it down, but like if you just want this wet glossy effect, just note it won't set down, and it's a little sticky on the face, which I know can be kind of irritating, but it's also so pretty. I totally forgot I wanted to put a lip treatment on because my lips are so disgustingly dry, and we'll go over with a lip product at the end, but this is just my Lawless Forget the Filler Overnight Lip Plumping Mask. I actually don't use this overnight because this actually does have like a bit of like a tingly sensation. But what's so interesting about this is I feel like it does like actually plump my lips, but I also feel like it is hydrating as well. It's not like one of those lip plumping products that like leaves your lips feeling more damaged after using them. So I do really enjoy that. I'd rather just use Lawless Forget the Filler, like the lip gloss, just all day long, but wanted to shout that out. Okay, and then for my cream blush, I wanted to show you guys this combo that I've been doing lately, and it's a combination of two products that I really enjoy. So I really like these Say Dewy blushes. I think they are so beautiful on the cheeks. They are this really nice thin serum-like texture that just leaves this really beautiful flush to the cheeks and is a bit glowy. I personally like a glowier cheek, and I've been mixing this with the Charlotte Tilbury Glowgasm Beauty Light Wand in the shade Pinkgasm. So Pinkgasm is more of, and I just mixed the two on the back of my hand. Pinkgasm is more of like a I don't know if you like a warmer pink because it has a bit of like a warm hue running throughout. And then I just put a little dollop of the Say on it, and this is Say Baby, and Say Baby is definitely a little bit more cool toned, and I just mix the two of those together. And then I take just a like stippling brush and I just pat that on the cheeks, and I like to take it like, I like to be like where I put my highlight as well. Like I like to go ham with the blush. But as you can tell, it just adds the slightest flush to the cheeks. And I don't know, I've just really been enjoying this combo. I have both of them going in projects. That's why like I started mixing them in the first place, but I just feel like it works well. I'm also like, why did I underpaint? Because this foundation combination is pretty full coverage, as you'll see. So I don't even know if you'll see any of this shine through, but I wanted to just note a couple other products that I really like. So when I mix the Laura Mercier and the Charlotte Tilbury together, I literally just mix them on the back of my hand. So I just do like a glob of the Hollywood Flawless Filter, which I have mine in the shade 2. And then I have the Laura Mercier foundation in the shade 2N1, which I feel like with my self tan is probably a little bit too cool for me, but we're gonna make it work. I just do about 3 pumps, and each pump is about a half pump for this, on the back of my hand, and then just kind of like tap it together. And then I just kind of then tap it onto my skin, and you are gonna be amazed. Hopefully you actually are impressed with just like how seamless the foundation blends. So personally, I do like to start with a foundation brush. And I have this Big Daddy from Tarte. Yeah, I'm like, should I have even underpainted? Because can you even see that through? Okay, then I take my beauty blender and blend everything out with that, just to get the most flawless finish, at least for me personally. And actually, I totally forgot, even when I don't underpaint, I've been personally going in with concealer under my foundation. I totally forgot today. Okay, there's the foundation all blended out. It just looks so flawless, in my opinion. I just love the way that this sits on my skin. I don't know why I don't like it without the Charlotte Tilbury, but I just think it looks so much better mixed with my Hollywood Flawless Filter. But even the other day I was working and I was checking a patient in, and she was like, your makeup is literally like the most flawless, smoothest I've ever seen on someone. And I was like, thank you. I don't necessarily think that, but I love that it still has this healthy skin-like glow. Like you can still see light reflects off the foundation, but it literally just blurs and makes me feel so flawless. So that is the foundation that I can't stop using. I'm thinking about picking this up in a warmer shade for the summer because I'm enjoying this one so much. For concealer today, I am going to go in with my Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer. I have been obsessed with this. I'm definitely going to pick up a full size of this during the sale. This, I think, is my new favorite concealer that I've ever used. If you like something a little bit more thin and serum-like with a little bit less coverage, I also recommend the Tower 28 concealer. I think that one's really, really beautiful. This one is a little bit thicker, but I just love the coverage that this gives underneath the eyes. So I just go in with a little, like on the center, and then I go in with a little on the outer part of my eye. Why can't I ever like formulate words when I'm filming? And just for reference, I have the shade 4 Fair in the concealer. I feel like 4 Fair is good. I kind of want to pick up 3 just for like times when I'm like not self tanning. Like I feel like 3 might be just a little bit better for me. And for me, I usually just blend my concealer out with a sponge. Okay, so there is the concealer. I love the way the concealer looks under the eyes. I feel like it just like smooths everything out. Yes, I still like I'm 32, almost 33, I do have creases underneath my eyes, but I feel like it also still adds a bit of radiance, and I'm just a huge fan of the concealer. So next I'm going to set underneath my eyes with my Givenchy Prism Libre powder. I have mine in the shade 3 Rose Violet, and I really like this powder specifically for underneath the eyes. So that is what we're going to do today. And I'm just taking it on my powder puff. And then usually when I do underneath my eyes with this powder, I'll bring it like down my nose just to set like right there. But I love what this powder does for underneath the eyes. I just feel like it sets everything down so beautifully, and it also just like blurs and smooths. Yes, it takes away some of the radiance from that concealer, but I truly feel like this makes an impact all day, and I am good with it. We can add back a little bit of glow later if we are wanting. Like, I just feel like my under eyes look so smooth after using that powder. Okay, I'm not a big like loose powder girly for all over the face. So for my loose, or for my pressed powder, I have been actually mostly setting, and I really like this over this foundation. This is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Powder Foundation. But for the sake of this video, I'm not going to set my foundation with another foundation, even though I do that just about every day. I'm going to go in with the Bare Minerals Bare Pro 16 Hour. Oh, this is also a powder foundation. Well, it's been a little bit since I've reached for the Bare Minerals, and I actually like the Bare Minerals a little bit more than the Fenty Beauty. So we're going to layer the Bare Minerals over this. I actually have a full size of the Bare Minerals as well, but I'm trying to get through my mini. I'm someone who, even though I am a dry skinned girl, I do like to set my face with powder, just because I work usually 9 to 10 hours a day. So like anything I can do to help get me a little extra staying power is helpful. I'm gonna go in with a bit of MAC Fix Plus, which I know you can't get at Sephora, but we're just gonna try and like, well, mostly I just like to mist my face. Like, I'm just like giving my face a drink of water. Okay, now that my face is dry, we're gonna go in with bronzer before we do the brows, and I can't wait to do the brows so we can start looking like a normal person again. I love the Charlotte Tilbury bronzers. I like both the cream to powder as well as the powder, but I've talked about those quite a bit on my channel, so I thought it'd be fun today if we use my Gucci bronzer. I told myself that I needed to finish my Tom Ford bronzer before I got the Gucci bronzer, but then when I was in Las Vegas for the Creators and Friends event, Emily and I were at Sephora swatching the Gucci bronzer. I finally got to swatch the Gucci bronzer in store for the first time. Then there was the, was it like 20 off of 50 coupon from Sephora that comes out around December. And so I used that coupon to pick the Gucci bronzer up. I picked it up in the shade 3, which is, I swear, in store, 3 was what looked like it was gonna work for me. But this is pretty deep. I do have a self-tan now, so I do wanna take pictures today, so hopefully we don't screw this up so horribly. We're gonna see what happens. I am interested in picking up shade 1 during the sale as well. I know that'd be a little bit extra to have 2 Gucci bronzers, but sometimes I like to be a little extra. I am going to try and go in with just like the lightest tapping. And normally I feel like I press really hard against my forehead when I bronze. Maybe I'll try and do it a little bit lighter. Stopped recording on me, but so far we're doing okay. We're not like as scary as the first time I used this. I did a get ready with me, I can't remember, maybe it might have been my like Q&A that I used this, and I think it might have been like the first time on camera, and that was heavy. Like, even my face looked just so alarmed when I did that. Okay, can we get it into the hairline? We're definitely gonna, it's a good thing I was planning to use a finishing powder today. We're gonna have to use a finishing powder to hopefully like fix a few things. We'll see how it goes to get it on the cheeks here. Okay, no, we're doing good. We're doing good. I really like this formula in terms of like, it's a nice, like, very smooth powder. I can't say I've used it like the most amount of times yet because, again, the shade hasn't been right for me. I think this will be beautiful in the summer for me, but I don't know that I could confidently say this is worth the $65 or $68. I just thought it'd be fun to give it another chance and say that I do recommend picking it up during the sale if you've been thinking about it and not picking it up at full price. The one other thing I will note about this bronzer is I would try and see if there's a store around you where you can see the shades in person, because if I'm remembering correctly, the shade 2, I want to say looked, I can't remember if 2 was like very cool toned. Like the shades are just interesting, so just be leery of that. I did want to shout out one other bronzer that I really love. It is from Give Beauty. It is in the shade Toastin. For me personally, obviously, depending on your skin tone, you might be a different shade, but this is a contour bronzer duo. The contour is a cream contour, and then the bronzer is this really beautiful warmer bronzer, and I fell in love with this. I kind of picked this up on a whim last Sephora VIB sale, and I was so impressed. I'm definitely interested in trying more from Give Beauty, but I highly recommend their duos. I want to pick up one of their cheek duos as well. I'm seeing right now my battery's flashing at me that I'm going to need to change it soon. For highlight, I'm going to do highlight and then we'll finish with blush. So 2 highlights I really like. Another one that I picked up during the last Sephora VIB sale. I am a huge fan of the Rare Beauty blushes. This is in the shade Mesmerize. Now granted, I think you have to like, you either have to go very light-handed or you have to like a more intense highlight. And then I also have the one from Give Beauty for those of you who like something a little bit more subtle. I'm actually going to go in with this one from Rare Beauty. If I didn't say, I have the shade Mesmerize. So when you pick it up, there is like quite a bit gets on your brush. I like to tap most of it off and then go pretty light. I typically don't like, I wouldn't say don't like, I typically tend to lean towards a more subtle highlight these days, but I feel like I can tell this summer, I feel like I'm just gonna want to like glow. Like I feel like I might be entering another, like, maybe not for everyday work, but like I could definitely see myself highlighting a lot more this summer. And do you see, like, I can like build that up some too. I just think that's so pretty. I really like the formula because it is more of like a baked formula, and it's so soft to the touch. It's so thin, so smooth. Oh, like it just feels so freaking nice. And it's that thin texture that just like doesn't look like texture on your skin. Like it just looks like your skin is actually just glowing. It doesn't look like you like placed highlighting powder there. Like it doesn't give like that powdery sort of look to it. I'm realizing just how ridiculous my fingers look. Anyway, I'm gonna quickly do my brows off camera and change my battery out. For brows these days, I've been using my Danessa Myricks Groundwork eyeshadow palette. I freaking love this thing, and I just used the shade Sculpted, and I literally just take a brow brush and just like essentially like paint it into my brows like so. So I'm gonna go do my brows, switch out my battery, and I'll be right back. All right, you guys, brows are on. We just have blush to add and then lips and mascara. So for blush, I have so many blushes that I really love, and like I said in the introduction, I hope I can figure out the Magic Links storefront so that I can just link a bunch of different like blushes that I recommend. But a true favorite of mine, and something I think I'll be using so much this summer because I'm really feeling like leaning into like the nude blushes, as well as like corals and peaches. That's like what I'm feeling right now. But this is from Laura Mercier, and it's the shade Fresco. It is such a beautiful, just like kind of warmer nude blush, which I feel like in the past I've really loved Buxom Seychelles for a nude, but that's more of like a cooler nude blush shade. And so I really like this one because it's just a little bit warmer, but like also still kind of just like blends in with your bronzer because it's just kind of like a nude bronzy sort of shade. I will say there are like glitter flecks running throughout. Like if you were to look at this in store, like it looks like there's like glitter in this. I really don't see that on the cheeks at all. Like, I've never worn this blush and been like, there's glitter particles on my face. So just wanted to note that, because when this first arrived to me, I don't know that I swatched this in store, but I saw someone talking about this blush shade and I picked it up maybe last spring Sephora VIB sale. I think that may have been it. And I was like, I got it and I was like, there's glitter in it, but then I've literally never seen that translate onto the skin. Okay, I actually don't think the bronzer is the worst, even on the forehead. I do feel like it kind of like all came together. I do really love the Hourglass finishing powders, especially if I'm wearing a foundation that's a little bit more like mattifying than I want, and I want to add like a little bit of a glow to my face. I don't necessarily feel like I need that today, but I just wanted to shout these powders out. I have the trio here. This comes with dim light, incandescent light, and radiant light. I recently finished off a full size, I can't remember what it was, but I'm just gonna take kind of a mixture of these two right here and then just like run this kind of all over my face just to like tie everything together. For mascara, I'm just gonna go in with what I currently have open, which is the Tarte Lights Camera Splashes mascara and my Makeup Revolution, which obviously you can't get at Sephora. But if I had any like recommendations on mascaras at Sephora, I really like the Milk Makeup one, and then the Ilia, is it the Limitless? I think it's the Ilia Limitless. Limitless is my favorite mascara of all time. It's so good, in my opinion. It's the best product that Ilia makes, and I just feel like you cannot go wrong. But I don't want to open a new mascara right now, so I'm just going to go in with what I have open. Okay, mascara is on. For my lips, I've been trying to be better about actually wearing my lip liners and doing like an actual lip combination. So I'm going to use this one from Makeup by Mario today. This is in the shade, I think it's Dimitri. Am I right? Yes, Dimitri. I actually really enjoyed this when I purchased it. Like, I really enjoyed the shade. So I always feel like I struggle to line my lips when I have like a bit of balm still left on them. Okay, there's Dimitri on the lips. As you can tell, it's just a really beautiful kind of cool toned nude, which is right up my alley. Now, we know my #1 recommendation for a lip gloss is Lawless Forget the Filler. Like, we already know. Ooh, I just thought maybe I should use a lipstick as well. I'm gonna grab a Merit lipstick because I do like the Merit lipsticks. Okay, I might end up regretting this, especially because I feel like this lip liner is lighter than this shade. But I grabbed the shade 1990 from Merit. I really like the Merit lipsticks. I think the packaging is really nice and lush. And the formula is just super comfortable. I know they've recently released matte shades, which are really nice. I personally prefer their original formula, which is more like a satin sheen. I shouldn't talk while I try to apply. There is 1990 on the lip. How fun is that shade? Like, I just feel like that is definitely giving 90s, and I really like that. So, as mentioned, obviously my #1 recommendation for a lip gloss is Lawless Forget the Filler. It is my favorite. It is so beautiful. It really does make your lips just look so plush and juicy and plump without being painful. But because we already know, because I literally talk about Lawless Forget the Filler in every video, I'm gonna go over this with the Givenchy Liquid Balm, the Marbled Liquid Balm in the shade 110. I know that these are like ridiculously priced, and when I first bought this, I was like, why did I buy this? This was such a waste of money. But over time, I've really started to enjoy this formula. Now, I don't know that I would necessarily go purchase more shades in this, but it is just this really beautiful kind of plush nude gloss, and it really does feel like nourishing and hydrating on the lips. I almost said on the nips. I've never tried it on the nips, but that'd be interesting. Okay, there it is right there. I don't necessarily know that I love the lip with the eyes, but it's fine. I didn't do anything on the lower lash line, and I think I might keep it that way in terms of shadow, but that is it, you guys. So this isn't available at Sephora, but I'm gonna set my face really quick just because I will have this on for quite some time using the Revolution Sport Fix. But that is my look today. This is what I plan to wear for my Easter pictures. This is my Sephora VIB sale. Get ready with me. As always, I would love to know if you plan to pick up anything during the sale, if you recommend anything. Before we wrap it up, you guys, I have a couple other just like random things that I really wanted to recommend. I've been getting so into fragrance, and so I have a couple of fragrance recommendations, a self-tanning product, and then a couple of hair recommendations. We can start with my self-tanning product, which I don't know if you would want to trust my opinion on self tanner, but I've been a huge fan of the Isle of Paradise self tanner for so long, and I really love this self tanner because it is a water and it doesn't have color guard. So there's sometimes where like I'll just toss this on and like race out the door to work. Now granted, I smell like, this definitely does still have a scent to it. It's not as bad as some self tanners, but like I still smell like self tanner. But this is just so helpful because I feel like sometimes I put off self-tanning because I like try and plan through like the color guard aspect of it. And I also just really like the like warmth that this has to the self-tan that it gives. Now this is a newer product to me from them. This is the Dark Self-Tanning Oil Mist. I don't know if you can get this on the Sephora website. I actually just ordered this directly from Isle of Paradise because I feel like Isle of Paradise is always out of stock on Sephora, but I do highly recommend their mists, and if they're available during the sale, I do recommend the Isle of Paradise products. A couple of hair recommendations. I love to, especially in the summer, French braid my hair, wear my hair French braided for one day, and then the next day I take it out and I have like the waves. That is something I love to do. And I really love the IGK Rich Kid Wave Enhancing Air Dry Cream. So I will put this in my like damp hair, and then I will French braid my hair, or even I'll put this in dry hair at times and I'll French braid my hair, and this just really helps to create like long-lasting waves the next day when I take my French braids out. I love this product. I've repurchased it, so highly recommend. The one thing I will note about this, I feel like if you have thinner hair, this might be too heavy for you. Just as a side note, I have very thick hair, so sometimes it's really hard for me to gauge. And then I just wanted to really quick shout out VIB products. So I love the VIB shampoo and conditioner. I've been obsessed. But the VIB Ghost Oil I've really been enjoying. I also really like the Moroccan hair oil. But these products smell so good. And then I have the VIB Ghost Dry Oil. It says it smooth, softens, and there's frizz control. I don't feel like I necessarily deal with a ton of frizz unless it's like bedhead in the morning, but I really like this just to like smooth my hair out. I feel like it adds just like a wee bit of a shine, and it just smells good. Like it literally just smells good. And you know, sometimes like you'll straighten your hair and you kind of get that burnt hair smell. I just love this for that. Okay, and then I have 4 fragrance recommendations. I just have fallen in love with fragrance. I get so excited about fragrance. I'm so excited to pick up some fragrances during this sale. So these are my top spring recommendations. Okay, this is like a classic, and I feel like this scent isn't for everybody, but I love this scent, and it could be because I have like a strong scent memory tied to this. This is from Giorgio Armani. It's the My Way fragrance. I will say, I was gonna say, even when I get through this, I don't know if I'll purchase it. Well, this just literally brings me back to like happy days in Florida. So I absolutely love this. It is, I believe, more of like a, I'm really bad at like actually describing scents, but more of like a floral scent. Oh, it's so good. I don't know. Look up the notes and see if it's something, or go in store and see if you'd like it. But I freaking love this one. This also lasts all day. Like it is one of those fragrances that I put it on in the morning and I can still smell it on myself later in the day, and I love that. Okay, I have just a little mini of this, but I'm planning to pick up a larger rollerball. I want to get this in the full size, but it's an oil, like it's a body oil, and the full size is like $90, but it's from Nest. It's the Balinese coconut. Oh, if you don't like a coconut scent, this isn't going to be for you, but I freaking love a coconut scent. Oh, I feel like it's so hard to come out on these stupid roller balls. This could also be because I just have this tied to a very fond scent memory too. I wore this mixed with Killian's Don't Be Shy, I think, like for my birthday last year, and I went to Topgolf and just had the best day. So it could just be like I have a really happy scent memory tied to it, but I love this. If you just want to add like a little bit of coconut scent to something, I really, really enjoy that. I will say I wore this a ton last summer and like it looks like I barely have a dent. So that is something I highly recommend if you like a coconut. Okay, I pulled this back out for my fragrance tray for March because I was like, I want to just try and finish this up. And I have fallen back in love and fallen in love even harder with this scent from Skylar. This is Pink Canyon, and this is like it girl, clean girl. Okay, I'm almost like, mine is like starting to like almost be done. Like I feel like I need to purchase another one of these. It just has like a fresh, clean scent that I cannot get over. I have gotten so many compliments on this fragrance. I've been mixing this with the Vanilla Skin from Fleur, which I also recommend, but that's like always sold out. The two mixed together, beautiful. I don't know that I'll repurchase this year just because I want to like test and try new things, but I do plan to pick this up at some point in the future because I really, really, really love this scent. And if you like something that's just a little bit more clean, like it doesn't smell like laundry soap, but it just has this almost like peppery, like almost like a spicy clean. I don't know how to describe it, but it is so good. And then my top scent for just mixing with everything, like if I put something on and I feel like I'm not 100% in love with the fragrance, I will add the Clean Skin scent, like Clean Skin Reserve in the Skin scent. I purchased this last year. And like, I already have a pretty decent dent going in this. This, just like smelling this, just, oh my gosh, it just makes me so happy. It also takes me back to a very fond scent memory of last year. Maybe it's just like, we got some good memories tied to some of these things. Oh, this mixed with the coconut, oh, so good. This would be, aside from Replica by the Fireside, my tippity top favorite fragrance. The only reason Replica wins is because that is like a fragrance I like will happily wear on its own, and I will wear this on its own, but I also just love to mix this so much. That's why like a part of me is like, is this my number one? Because I can mix it with everything. They're tied for number one. They're tied for number one. This is so yummy, but yummy isn't the right word because it's not like a gourmand, like foodie sort of scent or even like a sweet scent. It is just, I don't even know how to describe it, but it is so good. So those are my top fragrance recommendations, as well as some other things that I recommend during the Sephora sale. If there's anything in today's video you're interested in, if you have more questions about anything, let me know. Like I mentioned, I'll leave that Magic Links link to hopefully a storefront if you're interested in more recommendations, and I'll also leave my Sephora playlist link down below where I have other recommendations, videos, etc. But thank you guys so much for sticking around to watch today's video and for supporting me and my channel, as you guys always do. Thanks for getting ready with me today, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye.